And we are live. Hello folks, welcome to part 20 of Sonadow Play Ace Attorney. Joining me as per usual is my lovely girlfriend GF IMShadow007. Say hello, hon.
Hi!
And today we are... Oh, by the way, put your headphones on.
Oh, right. I'll be right back. Let me go get them real quick.
Okay. Well, while she's away, today is the start of Trials and Tribulations. The third and final game in the original trilogy, and not the hardest game in the series. Story-wise, it's definitely the best one. So naturally, the first trial is the tutorial trial as per, and my voice actually gets a break this time because in the first trial you're actually playing as Mia in the past.
Yep, I am.
Ah, there you are.
Yes, and as he was saying, this is the premiere of Trials and Tribulations, my personal favorite in the original trilogy and pretty much the entire series. And definitely one of the saddest games. Well, had one of the saddest cases anyway.
Oh so. Yeah, without a doubt. Alright, well, that'll do. Let's get started.
Alrighty.
Okay, new game. Trials and Tribulations. Play this game. Episode 1, Turnabout Memories. Now, I still have some voices in it. I play a young Phoenix, and Grossberg, and the judge, of course.
And Winston Payne. And guys, wait till you see how young Phoenix is in this one.
How did I get into this mess? Why? Why did I do that? That girl, you shouldn't see her anymore. Hey, it's none of your business! I'm telling you for your sake. If you continue to see her, it's going to be bad news. You're lying! Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. Stop it! Don't talk about her like that! I didn't kill this guy! It wasn't me! I didn't! I kinda did. I didn't do it!
You kinda did.
I think Phoenix is about 1920.
Yeah, he's 20 years old.
Mia Fate, second trial.
Phew, it's finally time. I'm kind of nervous. Oh, Mr. Grossberg, good morning.
Ah, Mia, please calm yourself down. You're going to get yourself arrested for suspicious behavior, you know.
What are you talking about? I am relaxed, Mr. Grossberg. Look at me. I'm relaxed.
Let go of my lapels. You obviously haven't got the temperament to be a lawyer.
I'm so sorry. It's just that I'm so nervous today.
Oh, that's right. This is your first time in the big leagues, isn't it? Well, never fear, my dear. I, Marvin Grossberg, am at your service.
Actually, this is my second time in court.
Still, you surprised me. What, with your earnest request last night? Let me handle this case, you suddenly said, and quite forcefully, too.
I just found out yesterday. About that case, I mean.
What? And you've already learned all the relevant facts?
Well, about that, you see, I mean, of course I have, I think.
Oh dear. In any case, don't let our client see you're so nervous. You see the poor young man in the pink sweater over there? That's our client.
Aww.
Good morning there, everybody.
Good morning. Try to keep smiling, Mia.
I just wanted to say, I'll give it all I've got. Yep, it'll be fine. No problem.
Oh, what's wrong? Do you have a cold or something, Mr. Rye?
Actually, it's right.
like the Flying Brothers. People screw it up all the time. Yeah, that's true, actually. Grossberg's suit is red in this game because so it doesn't blend in with the courtroom, like Angry John said in the chat.
Really?
Yeah.
And I just gotta say, Feeney's
So what?
Feeney's so cute.
I have a cold. That's what the mask is for. My doctor says this way, I won't give it to anyone else. Be kind to others, he says. Yeah, some people could learn that nowadays. Just saying.
I know, right? Looking at you, America. Right, Mr. Wright. You have nothing to fear in court today. If you are truly innocent, I promise I will save you.
Please, let go of my shirt.
That's right. He's the one on trial, not you. He's the one who should be nervous. You need to stay strong for your client, Mia. My name is Mia Fey. I'm still pretty new at this lawyer thing. The first time I appeared in court was a year ago. But that trial traumatized me so badly, I thought I'd never set foot in another courtroom. It's been 1 year since then, and well, here I am again.
Ah, shit. Here we go again.
Yep. And you'll see that case later on. But this time I'm going to win. For my client, and for myself. That's going to be a really good callback right there when she says that.
Yeah.
That's going to be a callback to the final case.
By the way, I apologize if you can hear a fan in the background, but my room is really warm, so I can't switch it off.
Oh, there's a familiar face.
Court is now in session for the trial of Phoenix Wright. Never thought I'd be saying those words.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense
He's
today...
got hair.
Yes.
The defense today is Miss Mia Fey, was it?
Yes, Your Honor. Is there a problem?
I was under the impression that Marvin Grossberg was to be leading the defense.
Yes, well, you see, Mr. Grossberg had a bit of emergency.
Emergency? But isn't that him standing there right next to you?
Yes, well,
You're just a rookie. Are you sure you can really handle this?
don't let him scare you, Mia. Give him your toughest look. Of course, Your Honor. I think.
Well, Mr. Payne, your opening statement, please.
Well, well, well. I can't believe a veteran like me has to spend time babysitting a new defense lawyer. Don't worry, little girl. It'll all be over soon.
What was that all about? Was he trying to trash talk me?
Now then, I'd like to proceed with a summary of events on the day in question. The incident occurred on the campus of Ivy University. The murder victim was a student named Doug Swallow. He was a fourth-year student studying pharmacology.
Sounds like he was a very bright young man.
Yes, well, next we have a photo taken at the scene of the crime. Students discovered the scene shortly after the murder. They found the victim's body. And the defendant, who had obviously bungled his getaway, they then called the police.
That certainly makes the defense look very suspicious indeed. Very well. The court accepts this photo into the record as evidence.
Thank you.
By the way, I can't quite tell the cause of death from this photo.
Your reputation for sagacity? Sagacity?
The sagacity, I'll say.
Sagacity is well earned, Your Honor. That's a word I've never really heard before.
Neither have I.
The truth is that this victim died a rather unusual death.
An unusual death?
What do you mean, Mr. Payne?
Well, perhaps the defense would like to take this question.
Huh?
A simple question. I thought it might loosen you up a bit. I'm a genteel man, if you will.
A what? Stand up to him, Mia. Show him what you're made of.
Ah, the perfect opportunity. Well, was it? Because, go on. Please say you know at least that much.
I'm so sorry. I didn't get a chance to read through the whole file.
Which we're gonna do right now.
All right, let's read it.
Right there.
Yep. Cause of death was fatal electric shock. Yep.
My hemorrhoids are beginning to act up.
Thanks, TMI, dude.
Now see here. The details of this case are filed under the court record.
Yes, that's what we just did.
But you know that already, didn't you?
Ah, the court record. I think I can see that by pressing the tab.
All of these weapons... Wait, what are you talking about? There isn't a keyboard in front of you. Take a good hard look at the data and think carefully before you answer, my dear.
Yes, sir. I'll do just that. Let's have a read. Let's have a read it though. I've got to stay calm. I can't let that pressure get the better of me. Let's have a read of it. Like, can we open it?
No.
Okay, never mind. The court record. Okay, let's take a look. I just pressed tab here.
I already did that twice.
Now then, would the attorney for the defense please answer the question? What was the cause of death?
Electrocution. According to the court record, it was a fatal electric shock. In other words, electrocution.
Sorry, force of habit there.
It's okay.
Electrocution? How could such a thing happen? Did the murderer use some type of new super powerful stun gun, perhaps?
The answer to that will become crystal clear as the trial proceeds, Your Honor. But before that, there is one more vital issue.
What's that?
Why, motive, of course. Apparently, there was some bad blood between the victim and the defendant.
Bad blood?
What do you mean?
Oopsie. I'm terribly sorry. You're the defense attorney, so you must know all about it. I shouldn't be stealing your spotlight like this.
I really don't like this guy's smug attitude.
That's Winston Payne for you. He's one smooth operator, if you catch my drift. They don't call him the rookie killer for nothing, you know. Now then, let's hear from the defense. What was the source of the bad blood between the victim and the defendant? And this time, I would like to see some supporting evidence.
Evidence?
No need to get all worked up over this. As I said, all our weapons can be found in the court record. Find the evidence you need, then shove it in the old greybeard's face.
Yes, sir. Into old Greybeard's face.
Mr. Grossberg, try to set a better example for the young lady. Mia, evidence isn't the only thing in the court record. People's profiles are as well. You can toggle between profiles and evidence with the tab, so be sure to get it all. I feel like I'm giving a tutorial for a video game here. Now then, let's see what you've got. What was the cause of the bad blood between Phoenix Wright and the victim?
The profiles, Dahlia Hawthorne. The reason for the bad blood between the two of them was this woman here.
Dahlia Hawthorne, is it?
Very good, Miss Faye. You seem to have picked up at least this much. This woman is the girlfriend of the defendant, Phoenix Wright. But up until about 8 months ago, she was with the victim, Mr. Swallow. Clearly, she had some part to play in this story.
He's done it again. Before the cross-examination starts, he's already got the judge thinking like he wants. Very well. Mr. Payne, please call your first witness.
If it pleases the court, the prosecution would like to call Mr. Phoenix Wright.
What? The defendant himself? Well, Miss Faye?
It's fine. After all, Mr. Wright is innocent, right? The defense has no objection.
Very well. The court calls Mr. Phoenix Wright to the witness stand.
He's so happy.
Witness, please state your name and occupation. Oh, yes. My name is Phoenix Wright. My job is, well, right now I guess I'm a suspect.
No, he means what did you do before you were arrested, idiot.
Oh, I was a university student. Mr. Wright, you understand that you're suspected in the death of your fellow student, Doug But I didn't do it! I'm innocent, I tell you! I'm telling you!
Would the defendant please refrain from passing on his cold to the rest of us?
It seems the witness has something he wants to say.
Well then, Mr. Wright, please tell us about your relation to the victim.
Right away, Your Honor.
He's so young.
I admit I was there, but I'm not a killer. All I did was find his body. I hardly knew the guy to begin with. I never even talked to that stuck-up British wannabe.
You hardly knew him, but you call him British wannabe.
I see. So you hardly knew the victim.
Right, like I said, I'm not a killer.
Phew, it looks like the judge understands.
You're being naive, you know. Too naive.
Huh?
It seems you've forgotten one small thing, young lady.
And that would be?
This witness still has to undergo something called cross-examination.
Cross-examination?
He's right, and it's the defense's duty to carry out the cross-examination. The purpose is to determine if a witness's testimony contains any contradictions.
Contradictions?
If a witness is lying, their statements will conflict with the court record.
But Mr. Wright is my client.
Even if he is your client, in court all lies must be struck down. As a lawyer, that is your duty, you see.
What does he mean by that? Is he saying that testimony just now? That there was a lie? A contradiction? There is.
Now then, your cross-examination, if you please, Miss Fay.
Please, Mr. Wright, tell me you haven't been lying. You wouldn't do that to me, would you? You said you didn't know him, yet you call him a British wannabe. Excuse me? Hold it right there. Mr. Wright, you stated the following in your testimony. I hardly knew the guy to begin with.
That's right. I mean, why would I even...
But that doesn't sound right. If you hardly knew him, then why would you say that the victim was a stuck-up British wannabe? Well, Mr. Wright?
No, it wasn't me. I'm not a killer, I swear.
Mr. Wright, I will give you an opportunity to revise your testimony. How is it that you knew the victim was, as you put it, a British wannabe?
Yes, well... He was always walking around with a huge Union Jack on the back of his shirt. Union flag, by the way.
Really? Because according to the crime photo, there was nothing on his back. Because if you look, it's bare. So...
Yeah, just for the record, it's only called a Union Jack when it's on a boat or it's out at sea. It's a Union flag.
Yeah. Are you certain you saw the Union flag?
Yeah, I'm sure. It was right there on his back.
Miss Fay, is there some point to this line of questioning?
Your Honor, please take another look at the crime scene photo. As you can see, there's absolutely nothing on the victim's back.
Hey, wait a minute! He's wearing a leather jacket! The Union flag was on the back of the t-shirt he was wearing.
I was under the impression that you accidentally came across the body. But if that was really the case, then you wouldn't know that, would you? You'd have no idea at all what he was wearing underneath that jacket. Mr. Wright, you've been lying to me.
Please forgive me!
I feel so bad.
Mia, you've made our client cry.
I'm sorry. Let him. That P on his chest doesn't stand for Phoenix anyways. It should say Ryu instead. Get it?
Yep.
For those who don't know, in the Japanese version, his name was
Ryuichi Naruhodo.
Yeah, Ryuji Naruhodo. And in the Japanese version of the game, his sweater said Ryu, so R-Y-U, so Ryu. I can't believe I trusted him.
That was an impressive bit of cross-examination. Thank you for uncovering the defendant's lies for me. It's quite clear that this man did not simply stumble upon the scene of the crime. Ugh.
Uh-oh. Did I go too far? You're a lawyer!
By the way, Mr. Wright, you seem to have a rather bad cold. Have you taken any medicine for it? Yeah, I took some, but... Was the medicine you took an over-the-counter brand called Cold Killer X? Yeah, that's right! It kills colds good! Hey, wait a second. How did you know I'm a big fan of Cold Killer X? Sounds like a movie.
Yeah.
Would you happen to have that medicine with you right now? Well, actually, I seem to have lost it somewhere.
He lost it? Does this even have anything to do with the case? Yes, it does.
Mr. Wright, shall I tell you where your cold medicine is right now? Huh? Your Honor, I'd like you to take another look at the crime scene.
What's this? In the victim's hand, it's Cold Killer X.
Objection! Yes, but even I've got a bottle of Cold Killer X in my apartment.
Objection!
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid the argument won't work. There's no doubt as to who this bottle of Cold Killer X belongs to. Especially since Mr. Wright's fingerprints are all over it.
What?
Sensing his murderous intent, Mr. Swallow must have picked up the bottle of medicine, dropped by Mr. Wright, and hid it in his hand. His purpose in doing so can only have been to identify his killer as Phoenix Wright.
Order! Order in the court!
Your Honor, I'd like to present this photo and bottle as evidence.
Very well. The court will accept them into the record.
Thank you. Thanks.
Also, the victim's wristwatch was broken.
Broken?
Yes, it ceased functioning when a large wave of electricity passed through it. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have some kind of explanation for all of this?
This is really bad.
Oh, my buttocks! My poor hemorrhoids!
TMI, Grossberg! Seriously, TMI, dude!
The truth is, I went because he called me. He was in the pharmacology department, so we agreed to meet at 2:45 behind that building. We talked for a bit, and then at around 3 p.m. we split up. Then later, when I went back, I found him lying there. I've been taking Cold Killer X for the last 2 or 3 days, but I lost my bottle of it around lunchtime on the day of the accident.
Mr. Wright, that's completely different from the testimony you gave previously.
Ugh. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I was afraid you wouldn't believe the truth.
You'll forgive me if I say I hardly find your current testimony any more credible.
Miss Fay, please begin your cross-examination.
Oh, please, Mr. Wright. Don't tell any more lies. I'm curious about the pharmacology department building. Why do you want to meet there, of all places? Hold it. Was it Mr. Swallow who indicated you should be at 2:45?
Yeah, and we were both there right on time.
You said the victim was in the pharmacology department, correct?
Yeah, he was studying how to manufacture and improve pharmaceuticals. Everyone called him the alchemist of the IVU.
An alchemist? I see.
I gotta admit, it was a little suspicious. He had the whole laboratory and everything. It was filled with chemicals and strange medicines that run on high-voltage electricity.
Oh, how fascinating. He sounds like he was quite an ambitious young man.
What do I do? Maybe I should ask him for some more details about the department. I was wondering if you could tell us a bit more about the pharmacology department.
Well, okay, sure. I don't know all that much, though.
A little bit earlier in your testimony, you said something interesting. You said the department uses strange machines that run on high-voltage electricity.
That's right, and they sure look dangerous. They use non-standard voltages, so there are high-voltage cables everywhere.
High-voltage cables?
Yeah, there were electrical poles set up all around the building. The high voltage cables run overhead around the roof.
Finally, I think we're getting somewhere. But you lost your medicine too. What's that about? It's the same thing.
Yeah, don't you want to ask him about something else?
Oh yeah, that's true. Let's ask about the other thing. About the time of the meeting. So you were absolutely certain that you met at 2:45?
Yeah, pretty sure that's the time class ends. But they're always doing experiments, so it doesn't matter much.
Experiments?
Yeah, those pharmacology guys are always in the lab whipping up something.
Well, it looks like he's right about the time anyway.
Witness, let's go on with your testimony. Alright.
But you said, he said he lost his cold medicine at lunch. Why did he happen to lose it? Hold it. On the day of the incident, what did you do for lunch?
Huh? What does that have to do with anything?
You can never be too sure.
I always eat with Dolly, just the two of us. Dolly's homemade lunches are just the greatest. Her mini omelets are magically delicious.
Ouch! Why did you punch me in the jaw?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I just felt like hurting someone all of a sudden.
Why'd you hurt me? I think that's enough for now. So the defendant and the victim met at approximately the time of death. And then the defendant returned to the scene for some unknown reason.
I'm not entirely convinced by his explanation about the medicine bottle either.
Let me be frank here, Mr. Wright. Your testimony cannot be trusted.
What do you mean? I knew it was too much work for a little girl.
However, there is one mystery that still remains.
There is, Your Honor?
How the murder was carried out, of course. Just how was the victim electrocuted? I don't believe the murder weapon has been produced yet, correct?
Well, you are correct, Your Honor.
So how exactly was Mr. Swallow killed? If I could somehow establish how it was done, maybe I could still come out of this mess smelling like a rose. Establish a murder method. Your Honor.
Yes, Miss Fay?
I believe that if we were to piece together everything we've heard up until now, we should be able to solve the mystery of how Mr. Swallow died.
That would be most impressive.
Quite the brash statement coming from a rookie. But even a beginner like you must understand the basic rules of the court, yes? An attorney must be able to substantiate their arguments with evidence.
Of course I know that. Actually, I'd totally forgotten about that.
Now then, Miss Fay, let's see what you've got. Show me how you believe the victim was electrocuted.
Well, if you go to the first crime scene photo, you see a loose electrical cable there.
Yep.
As for the cause of death, I'd say this picture captures it quite well.
What? But there's nothing that even remotely resembles a murder weapon here.
Are you this dense?
Yes, he is.
I'm afraid the defense is going to have to explain this in a bit more detail. Miss Fay, where exactly in this photo was the murder weapon?
This cable here. Well, naturally, it's right here, you idiot.
That's... What is that?
A severed electrical cable, I believe, Your Honor. Remember the testimony we've heard. The machines the pharmacology the students use in their experiments require high voltage. And because of that, there are special high voltage cables strung up everywhere.
So then, the high voltage cable...
Yes, the high voltage cable is the cause of death. That is the most likely explanation.
That certainly sounds plausible. Well, Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this?
Well, I believe some praise is in order.
Don't toy with me, old man.
Now, the victim's cause of death may have indeed been a high-voltage cable. However, I want you to think about what that really implies. The only one who had the opportunity to use the cable as a murder weapon was... the defendant!
That much is certainly true.
Yes, and that's not all. We have proof. Irrefutable proof that will establish that Mr. Wright was the murderer.
You do? Well, what is it?
His fingerprints.
Fingerprints? You mean that the defendant's fingerprints were on something besides the medicine bottle?
Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. As you can see, the victim is wearing a leather jacket. As you may know, leather holds fingerprints quite well.
You mean?
Yes, it was quite clearly imprinted on the chest area of the victim's jacket. The palm prints of the defendant's very own hand.
What?
I can only think of one way Mr. Wright could have left a print like that. Intent on murder, he squarely pushed the victim towards the severed electrical cable.
Order! 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 That's enough! I think we can conclude that there is no reason to continue with this cross-examination. Stick a fork in us. Stick a fork in us, we're done.
Mr. Grossberg?
My hemorrhoids never lie. The show is over, Mia. I knew that boy was guilty the first time I saw him.
No! You're wrong! Mr. Wright is innocent.
No further evidence is required to convince me of this man's guilt.
Your Honor!
At this time, I am prepared to render a verdict in this case. Do you have something further to add, Miss Fay?
Is this what you want, Mr. Wright? You still haven't told us the truth. The whole truth, so help you God. If you don't say something now, the judge is going to hand down this verdict.
But I can't. I just can't say it. If I told you what really happened, then I'd be...
It's okay, Mr. Wright. I'm your attorney. You can trust me.
Miss Fay.
No matter what it is you have to say, I believe in you and I'll represent you to the very end.
Objection! We've already established the defendant's guilt. There's no further need for him to say anything. Wait a minute!
Mr. Wright?
I'll tell you what really happened. But I've already told you, Mr. Wright, there's no need for further... I did it. I admit it! I pushed him! It's my fault. My fault that Doug Swallow is dead. That girl, you shouldn't see her anymore. Hey, it's none of your business. I'm telling you for your sake. If you continue to see her, it's going to be bad news. You're lying! Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. Stop it! Don't talk about her like that!
But wait a minute.
Why do I
He was face down on his back. How is he face down on his front in the picture? Suspicious.
Why do I smell a bacon sandwich?
Dude!
What? That's what dead body smells like. A burnt one.
What, was that the truth?
Yes, I was afraid. Afraid if I told the truth. Everyone would think I was the murderer for sure.
Well, as things currently stand, we're all absolutely convinced you are.
But please give me one more chance to explain. This time, I swear I'll tell the whole truth. It'll be okay, won't it, Miss Fay? I believe in you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, and the reason I know what a burnt body smells like, my grandfather was a fireman, so naturally he knew what they smelled like.
I see.
Yes.
I still can't believe it. He really did push the victim.
What do you mean, what is wrong with me, Zai? That's what a burnt body smells like.
Yeah, from what I've been saying, they smell like,
Pork.
burnt pork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh, it feels like my hemorrhoids are doing the Harlem Shake.
Mr. Grossberg, I swear to God!
That guy, he was talking bad about Dahlia. I lost my temper and gave him a shove. At this moment, I heard some kind of loud noise. A little while after I left, I started to get worried. So I went back, but he was just lying there, dead.
You heard a loud noise?
Well, the explanation really is quite simple. When you pushed him, Mr. Swallow flew back and touched the electrical cable. He died from the shock, and as they say, that, as they say, is that.
That still doesn't explain why he's lying face down.
I've put so many people off pork right now. Well, at least you've learned something, even if it cost you a meal.
A simple explanation indeed.
At the time of the incident, a light rain had been falling. Wet from the rain, the victim was more easily electrocuted. But when I pushed him, there wasn't any electrical cables nearby. If there had been something like that, even I would have noticed it.
That's true. Even a doofus like him could miss that.
Miss Faye, let me warn you right now, and your cross-examination doesn't yield any new facts. I intend to deliver my verdict without further delay. Are we clear on that?
Yes, Your Honor. Don't give up, Mia. If he is innocent, there must be some kind of evidence somewhere that will prove it. What was that loud noise he heard? A loud noise? And what would you say that loud noise was, Mr. Wright?
I'm not sure, but it was really loud. It was like, snap! You know, come to think of it, I wonder what that was. Clearly, Your Honor, it was the sound of the victim being electrocuted.
Objection! You're not qualified to decide that. What should I do? I'm treading on some dangerous ground here. Ask for more details. Mr. Wright, that loud noise you heard may be extremely important. So try to remember what it was.
How do I put it? It was like a sharp crack. Aha! Could it have been?
Yes, could have been. Hurry up and tell us.
When I pushed him, he dropped that umbrella he was holding. He fell right on top of it, and it broke. That was probably the noise I heard.
An umbrella, huh? And did that umbrella belong to the victim?
Yeah, it was a plastic umbrella, cheap and frail, kind of like the owner. Then again, I wish I had any kind of umbrella. I was totally soaked to the bone.
Miss Faye, what do you think? Is there something important in that testimony just now?
Well, of course it's important. This is it, Mia. The new information you've been waiting for. Of course it's important. No, this cheap umbrella is more than important. It's vital. I want to officially have it entered into the testimony.
How perfectly fitting. Flimsy information for a flimsy lawyer.
This court agrees to the defense's request. Witness, please add this bit about the cheap umbrella to your testimony.
Good, because if we go to that, he fell on top of his umbrella. Well, if you look at the crime scene photo of number 1, that umbrella was right nearby. Why didn't you just testify about the umbrella from the very beginning?
Come on, if I had mentioned that...
I would have been able to counter the prosecution's arguments earlier.
What do you mean by that?
Take another look at the crime scene photo. See? According to Mr. Wright, the victim fell on top of his umbrella. However, if you look closely, the umbrella is nowhere near the victim. Actually, it's by the electrical pole.
You're absolutely right.
The conclusion here is obvious. After the defendant left, the victim moved from where he fell. In other words, after he was pushed by the defendant, Mr. Swallow was still alive.
No! Order! 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 The victim, he moved? Mr. Payne, the umbrella in this photo, where is it now?
What? Well, it was collected by the police at the crime scene.
I want to present it as evidence immediately.
Thank you.
That was quick. But this umbrella could have simply been blown there by the wind.
Objection! According to the testimony, the victim fell on top of the umbrella. There's simply no way it could have been blown there by the wind.
I know this matter of the umbrella seems relatively trivial, but as long as the smallest doubt remains, I cannot render final judgment.
No!
I must say, I still find it hard to believe that a huge hole has been blown into the prosecution's case by the defendant's testimony.
Thank you.
Well done, Mia. Mr. Payne, what are you chuckling about?
Pardon me, Your Honor. It seems I was expecting too much of a free ride. It was foolish to think I could establish guilt through cross-examination alone.
I'm afraid I don't follow what you're saying.
Let me guess. You have another witness?
Exactly. And this witness's testimony will be
Incontrovertible.
incontrovertible.
Well, who is this witness?
Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
Dahlia Hawthorne? You don't mean Dolly?
I do, Your Honor. The defendant's very own lover is a witness to the whole thing. That's right, she was at the scene of the crime when the murder took place. I'm sorry to break the bad news to you, my dear.
Bad news? You couldn't be more wrong. Actually, I've been waiting for this.
You can't be serious.
Mia, what do you mean by that? I think this is a good point for us to stop at. Court will now enter a 20-minute recess. Afterwards, we will listen to the testimony of Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
Miss Fate, I'm sorry about what happened back there.
It's all right. At least she told us the truth in the end, Mr. Wright.
Yeah. So I guess I can start to relax then, huh?
Relax, my boy. You can't be serious after hiding such important facts.
But the next witness is my Dolly, right? She'll save me. I just know she will.
Why do you think that?
Huh? What do you mean? She's the love of my life. That's why.
The love of your life, huh? Would you mind telling me more about you and Miss Dahlia Hawthorne?
Sure, no problem. Dolly and we first met about 8 months ago right here in this very courthouse. Actually, I'm studying to be a lawyer on the side. Anyway, one day she and I bumped into each other in the reading room downstairs. That's why I really think it was fate that brought us together. As soon as I first set eyes on her, I knew she was the one for me. Oh, here, take a look at this. She gave this to me on the day we met as a symbol of our love. She'd been wearing it around her neck that day, but then she took it off. But before she gave it to me, she said, "I want you to carry this."
So she gave it to you as a present, I see.
This darling little bottle is filled with the memories of my darling little Dolly. It certainly is a little bottle, right? Oops.
Oh, it certainly is a little bottle, all right.
It makes me so happy. I show it to everyone I meet. I want to share my happiness with the whole world.
You are a precious bean. Anyway. So after that, you and Miss Hawthorne started dating?
Yeah, but she's so shy. Every time I see her, she always says the same thing to me. Please give it back now.
What a strange girl asking for a present back like that.
By the way, oops.
Oh, by the way, Mr. Wright. The day you first met Dahlia Hawthorne 8 months ago, it wouldn't happen to have been on August 27th, would it?
Huh? Yeah, it was. But how did you...
This happened on August 27th, right here in this courthouse.
What's this? A newspaper clipping? Let's see. Murder in the courthouse. Murder?
What are you reading there? Let me see that. Oh, I see. Mia, I think I understand what you're trying to say. I think I understand why you suddenly took such a keen interest in this case. You believe there is some connection between these two cases, am I correct?
I hope you don't mind, Mr. Grossberg. I need to finish this myself.
Ah, yes, but I'm afraid what you have will not be enough, my dear. I'll go and take a look at downstairs reading room and see what else I can find.
Thank you.
I want to do whatever I can to be of help to you, Mia. Well, it looks like recess is about over. We'd better all get moving.
Oh, I guess so. That recess sure seemed longer than 20 minutes, though. Well, it seemed like 5 minutes to us. Also, I just noticed a typo in the newspaper clipping. She said August 27th, but she said August 28th. Yeah, the evidence said August 28th, but she said August 27th, so it was a bit of a typo there.
Court will now reconvene. Mr. Payne, please call your witness.
The next person is someone who witnessed the crime as it happened. The prosecution calls Miss Dahlia Hawthorne to the stand. Now I suddenly feel uneasy.
Same here. What's with this stiff silence?
In my long career as a judge, I have been deceived by many witnesses. It's my job to doubt, to take no one at their word. But in your case, I must admit that you radiate a glow of complete sincerity.
I can't believe he actually said that!
Oh, now then, witness, could you please state your full name?
Don't worry, sweetie, there's no need to be nervous.
If anyone says anything rude, you can be sure I'll cut them right down to size.
And I will bash them with my gavel. Wait, then I'll be in court. Don't!
I love how they look straight at me when they say that. Thank you for calming my nerves. You're all so nice. I almost feel right at home.
Not at all.
It was nothing.
If we may move on now, what is your full name and occupation? My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I'm a junior at literature at Ivy University. I just want to say, it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence.
The honor is all mine.
No, the honor is all mine.
Well, we know whose milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Sir?
Is there something I can help you with?
Just go on and say whatever's on your mind.
I'm sure that there must be some kind of mistake.
Oh wait, Stewie's came up with why the dates were different. The incident
what is it?
The incident was August 27th, but the news said the incident wasn't until the next day. So the newspapers from the next day, the incident was the day before.
That makes sense. Okay. I'm sure there must be some kind of mistake. Fee wouldn't kill anyone. I just know it.
Yes, yes. I can see why you'd say that.
She's going to be a tough witness, all right. It only took her 12 seconds to wrap them all around her little finger.
Now then, please proceed with your testimony. Let's hear about what you witnessed on the day of the incident, if you please.
Go back to Feeney's place after the class was over. Feeney and Dougie, they were talking behind the building. Then suddenly, Dougie got all wobbly and just collapsed. That's when Feeney noticed that I was there. I went to go and find some other students and they called the authorities. You noticed Doug was wobbly, you sure?
I don't know what to say. According to you, Miss Hawthorne, the defendant didn't do anything wrong.
Objection! Young lady, as old as I am, even I recall how hot the flames of young passion can burn. Nevertheless, it is my job to discover the truth. Please, tell us the truth.
But I would never... Hold it! That's more than enough, witness. I won't allow this to continue.
What do you mean by that?
Please, just let me proceed with my cross-examination, Your Honor. I, for one, don't plan to win my case on a bunch of paper-thin lies. You haven't changed a bit. Mia Fey.
What's this? So, you two are acquainted?
Yes. We met before. Once.
In any case, Miss Fay, the floor's all yours.
It's good to see you again, Madam Fay. Madam? I'm no one's grandma yet, girly. Dog wobbly, huh? You sure about that?
Press.
Hold it. Yep, hold it. Are you saying that the victim just collapsed on his own? Yes. In other words, the defendant never touched the victim. Is that right? I was watching the whole time. Fee never did a thing to Dougie. If I press her for no good reason, I just know the judge will get angry with me. So what should I do about her testimony just now? Well... show contradiction. Feeble lies are not very becoming, Miss Hawthorne, so let's drop them, shall we? What? I would never!
Miss Fay, I will not allow you to badger this witness. I believe the defense is engaged in a fishing expedition. That is, she has no supporting... Please don't glare at me like that. I'm just doing my job.
Now then, Miss Hawthorne. The defendant's handprint was found on Mr. Swallow's leather jacket. It has already been shown that Mr. Wright did in fact push the victim. What? There's no need to try to cover the defendant. It would be much better if you came out and told us the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
There's nothing to worry about, young lady. Just tell us everything that you saw.
Yes, Your Honor. I will. If you don't mind, I'd like to revise my testimony. Looks like we're finally getting somewhere. Actually, I didn't see the moment that he pushed Dougie.
Press.
Let's see. Keep going. Next. It didn't look like they were fighting, and I didn't hear anything unusual either. Really? Because according to Phoenix's testimony, he heard a loud noise. You say you didn't hear anything unusual. Is that correct? Yes. That's why I was very relaxed, looking at the scenery around me. That's nice, but I find that just a little odd. I have here the testimony of your boyfriend, Mr. Phoenix Wright. And he clearly testified to the effect that when he pushed the victim, he heard a sharp, loud noise. He said that? If you were really that close to the two of them, why didn't you hear the noise as well?
Well, maybe the noise just wasn't all that memorable.
Objection! But according to Mr. Wright's testimony, it was a sharp noise like a snap. There's no way a noise like that could fail to make an impression.
Yeah.
May I have a moment to answer?
By all means.
I know the reason why I didn't hear the noise. You see, the truth is, I had my headphones on and I was listening to music at the time.
Headphones? You mean that both of your ears were covered?
The rain was beginning to let up. But it seemed as though Thor wasn't ready for his fun to come to an end yet. So the sky continued to flash and rumble. Thunder and lightning, huh? Yes, I'm afraid the sound of thunder. So I put my headphones on to block it out.
Well, Your Honor, as you can see, there weren't any contradictions in her testimony after all.
Wait a sec, Mia. That testimony just now. She said something that could totally change this whole case. There was lightning. Your Honor, there's a problem with the witness's testimony.
What do you mean?
Didn't you notice? She said there was lightning, correct?
Yes, what about it?
Well, lightning is actually a large discharge of electricity in the atmosphere. Am I right?
Now's not the time for a science lesson, Miss Fay.
Geography, actually.
Yes, Your Honor. Anyway, since the cause of death was electrocution, isn't it possible that the victim died from being hit by a bolt of lightning?
I must admit that the thought had not occurred to me.
Just what kind of thoughts do occur to this guy anyway? This entire case is built on the premise that Mr. Doug Swallow was murdered. But that very premise itself is mistaken. The defense believes that Mr. Swallow was, in fact, the victim of a stray bolt.
It appears that the defense may be onto something. Could it be that the death was actually accidental?
All right, you did it, Mia. I'll be taking that not guilty now if you... Oh, god damn it!
I'm hurt that you have such a low opinion of me, Miss Fay.
Huh?
I'm not a fool, you know. The prosecution has done its research, Your Honor. We found that there were no lightning strikes on the day at that location.
What?
What's more, we have evidence that the electrical cable is definitely linked to this case.
Evidence, Mr. Payne? Well, what is this evidence?
This
Affidavit.
This affidavit.
Affidavit.
This affidavit.
And from who is this affidavit from?
The pharmacology students who were conducting experiments in their labs that day. Allow me to read out the testimony of the pharmacology students. All equipment in the labs lost power all of a sudden at around 3 p.m. that day.
Was it a blackout?
All the lab's equipment run on high voltage, Your Honor.
So you're saying the equipment lost power because...
Precisely. They lost power because of the severed electrical cable. The power outage occurred at approximately 3 p.m.
Which fits in with the time of death listed in the autopsy report.
Exactly. In other words, the victim died as a result of touching the severed electrical cable.
Got us there.
According to the students, the cables were very old. They were planning on having them replaced in the near future.
I see.
Apparently, the cables had become so brittle that even the smallest bump would have caused them to break.
Uh-huh.
However, there's one thing that troubles me. If the cable could have been broken by any small bump, Then it would have been snapped if it hadn't been bumped. If it hadn't been bumped in, it wouldn't have snapped if it hadn't been bumped into, correct?
Well, I suppose you could say that.
Miss Faye, do you have any thoughts regarding the cause of the severed cable?
Your Honor. I don't like how this is looking one bit. I had to come up with something to try to regain some momentum. If it pleases the court, the defense would like to state its opinion.
Well then, let's hear it. Who or what was it that caused the cable to break?
Phoenix Wright. Your Honor, please think back to Mr. Wright's testimony.
The defendant's testimony?
He said that after he pushed the victim, he heard a loud, sharp noise. Now, this happened at around 3 p.m., correct?
Yes, that sounds right. Wait, are you saying that...
The lab equipment lost power at 2:55 p.m., which fits right in Mr. Wright's timeline. In other words, it was Mr. Wright's shove that caused the power outage.
Yes, the prosecution also came to that same conclusion. And it was that very shove that caused Mr. Swallow to be electrocuted.
Objection! I'm afraid I can't agree with you there, Mr. Payne.
What's that supposed to mean?
Take a good look at where the victim landed after being shoved. See the umbrella? It's by the electrical pole. That's right. The victim banked into the pole as a result of being pushed. It was that impact that caused the cable to break.
Well, that makes sense. And then the victim was electrocuted.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but no, it doesn't make sense at all. If the victim was shoved into the far pole, then he couldn't have been electrocuted by the severed cable in the foreground here.
Ah!
In other words, someone other than my client must have electrocuted the victim.
Order! Order in the court!
Ah, the lamentations of my enemy. How I long to hear them.
It's true. The defense is absolutely correct. There doesn't seem to be any way the defendant could have done it.
Mr. Judge, sir? May I say something? The madam's attorney's explanation. She said some things that are a little different than I remember them.
What the?
Please, just once more. Maybe I please testify one last time? Please, Mr. Judge?
Of course it's all right. Just go right ahead and give your new testimony.
This is it. She's finally starting to show her true colors.
Truth is, Beanie pushed him twice. The first time was into the electrical pole. That's when the cable broke. Then Dougie tried his best to run away from him. But Beanie caught up and crashed him from behind. The cable snapping and Dougie being electrocuted all occurred in less than a minute.
Really?
So after being shoved, the victim got up and tried to run away.
And that is when the defendant pushed him for the second time.
So sorry, Feeny, but I just have to tell the truth. I'm doing the right thing. Am I, Mr. Judge?
Of course you are, my dear. As painful as it may seem, you are. Now then, Miss Faye, you may proceed with your cross-examination.
It all happened in less than a minute, huh? I don't buy it. Because if you look at the second crime scene photo with Doug holding the medicine, if you look at his wristwatch, it said 3:05. See? Boom! That's enough, witness.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
You will in a minute. Could you please look at this picture?
Oh, that medicine. That's the one Fiend likes to take for his cold.
It's not the medicine I want you to look at. It's the wristwatch. It stopped at the precise time the victim was electrocuted. In other words, 3:05 p.m.
Yes, and your point is, Miss Faye?
My point is this. What time was it when the lab suffered a power outage due to the cable snapping?
Well, according to the student's testimony, the answer is clear. It was 2:55 p.m. Yeah!
Well, would you care to explain to the court, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne? What exactly happened during the 10-minute interval? The defense proposes that it was during this interval that the real murderer killed Mr. Dog Swallow.
Order! Order in the court!
This is nonsense! The real murderer?
Objection! Even you can't deny that between the cable breaking and electrocution are completely unaccounted for.
Then who was it? Who else do you say could have done it?
There's only one person who could have murdered Mr. Swallow. Only after my client had left the scene. Was there a window of opportunity for the real killer?
Miss Faye, is the defense ready to indict someone as the real killer?
It's finally time. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Yes, Your Honor, we are ready.
Very well. But remember, if you accuse the wrong person, you will be penalized. Think very carefully before you speak, Miss Faye. Now then, Miss Faye, let's have it. Who is the real killer?
Dahlia Hawthorne.
No, it's Winston Payne.
It could only have been you, Dahlia Hawthorne.
What? How can you?
The defense is grasping at straws.
10 minutes passed between the time cable broke and the time of the electrocution. What exactly were you doing the whole time, Miss Hawthorne? Were you really listening to some music while cheering them both on as they fought? I find it hard to believe that you didn't lift a finger to stop the men dearest to you.
Order! Order! Miss Faye! What? I mean, what?
Miss Hawthorne, I believe you did witness the two men fighting on that day. However, after Mr. Wright pushed the victim and subsequently left the scene, it was you who pushed Mr. Swallow to his death by your very own hands.
How can you say something so mean, Madam Faye? I didn't do anything.
Miss Faye, this is a very serious charge.
Hold it! Your Honor? Please, I have something I want to say.
You... What is it?
Please strike everything in the defense said just now from the record.
What the? Are you daft?
Daft? Weird hearing an American say daft.
I know.
You're totally wrong, Miss Faye. Dolly, she couldn't do something like that.
Mr. Wright, get back in your seat. Bailiff, grab that man.
Leave my Dolly alone.
That boy. He's gotten himself in way over his head.
Oh, Mr. Grossberg, you're back.
It seems I've arrived just in the nick of time. I found the police report on that incident in your newspaper clipping.
Thank you. We're gonna need it. Thank you very much. This is exactly what I was hoping for.
You'd better take a good look at it. It,
Details how you came to lose your boyfriend.
Now then, the defense has made a very serious accusation. Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this?
Well, really, Your Honor, That is...
May I interrupt you for just a moment, Mr. Prosecutor?
Don't worry, my dear. I have the situation well in hand. That is... Go right ahead.
Faye, are you seriously accusing me of killing my sweet Dougie?
Yes, I am. Not only am I saying you murdered Doug Swallow, but you also tried to pin the whole thing on your current lover, Phoenix Wright.
I told you that you should let me handle this. Sorry, please go ahead.
How can you say that? I'm absolutely devoted to my dear Feeny. The notion that I would try to frame him is ludicrous. This is all just too much for my poor little heart to be to bear.
I believe that girl is trying to ask what on earth her motive would be.
The answer to that lies somewhere in this police report. Must. 8 months ago, an incident occurred in the basement of the cafeteria of this building. And then, that same day, the two of them accidentally met. Meet, let's say. Your Honor, the defense requests further testimony from Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
Further testimony? What about?
About the events of the day when she first met the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
What could that possibly have to do with this case?
Objection! The witness claims that she has no reason to frame the defendant, am I correct?
Oh, fuck my life.
Well, I have evidence to suggest that she, in fact, had a very good reason.
Very well then. The court grants the defense's request. Young lady, would you mind staying on for just a bit longer?
Of course not, Mr. Judge.
Get ready for the battle of your life, Dahlia Hawthorne.
I first met my darling Feeny 8 months ago. It's like we were destined to meet in the very courthouse's basement reading room. The moment our eyes met, my heart skipped a beat. We've been going out ever since that fateful day. We're so lovey. Oh, that's you.
We're so lovey-wovey, we literally make people sick. It's just jealousy, I think.
Mr. Wright, do that again and you will be held in contempt of court.
And now we enter the final act of our little drama.
As we get used to saying in the days of my youth, go get her.
Yeah, you met her in the reading room, huh? Why that room of all places for your destiny to meet? We met in the reading room, huh? Yeah, press that, please. The courthouse reading room? That's a strange place to meet the love of your life.
That's not true, Madam Faye. After all, Feeny was not an art student, but he was also planning on becoming a lawyer.
I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about you, Miss Hawthorne. Why was the literature student like you doing in a courthouse reading room?
This line of questioning is a waste of time. It has nothing to do with our murder case.
Miss Faye, I'm warning you. If this has nothing to do with Mr. Swallow's case.
I have to remember the judge is on Dahlia's side. I better tread on carefully. Keep pressing. Your Honor, if you allow me some latitude, I think I can establish relevance. Please ask her to continue on their testimony.
Very well. Young lady, I've got a simple question for you. What are you doing downstairs in the courthouse reading room?
If it pleases Your Honor, the answer is simply this. I had come to this courthouse to do some research for a paper I was writing.
Uh-huh. Well, looky what the police report says. Bam! Suspect Dahlia Hawthorne. You were trying to run away. So, Miss Hawthorne, you weren't here because of your research paper, were you? Didn't you actually come here for a much important reason?
What is the meaning of that cocky smile on your face, Miss Faye?
8 months ago, right here in this very courthouse, there was another tragedy.
Another tragedy?
Do you mean the incident in which an attorney was poisoned?
The name of the suspect in the incident is listed here in this report. And that name is Dahlia Hawthorne.
Dahlia Hawthorne?
Yes, the sweetie pie of everyone's eye, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. She was the prime suspect in the criminal case just 8 months ago.
Order! 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 This is unbelievable! It's true then, the loveliest...
Miss Faye, that's not fair.
Cut me off again, you little shit, and I will hit you with my gavel.
You can't... I, Winston Payne, will not allow it.
Mr. Prosecutor, I believe I was speaking, you little shit.
Pardon me. Go right ahead.
Shut your fucking mouth, you simp. It's true that about 8 months ago,
I imagine Feeney, hey, I'm the OG simp over here.
Hey, I'm the OJ Step over.
the police expressed some interest in me.
Expressed some interest, huh?
Mr. Judge, sir, I know I'm under oath, so I'll tell you the absolute truth. So help me God.
I have to, I'm sorry, I just can't.
I did not commit the crime that occurred during the incident 8 months ago.
I see.
Okay, I tried the two crimes together. Now I've just got to stay on the offensive.
Well done, Mia. You really lit a fire in my heart. And my buttocks.
For fuck's Grossberg!
I can hardly tell which is more inflamed, my spirit or my hemorrhoids.
Am I?
Dude, you know there's cream for that, right? Sheesh.
I met the lawyer who was poisoned to discuss something in the cafeteria that day. I left my seat for a moment, and that's when it happened. From what I heard, it was a liquid poison that's lethal, about just 2 teaspoons. Not only that, I hear it was a very special kind of poison. So you see, I'm innocent. I wouldn't even know where to get a poison like that.
Are you sure?
So that's what happened here 8 months ago.
However, as you heard from the witness's testimony, she had nothing to do with it. I think the defense is just about out of tricks.
I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Payne. But I'm afraid the defense has many more tricks up its sleeve today. And I'll be sure to show them to you before the end of this cross-examination.
What the? Why does the defense suddenly feel stronger?
Aha!
I'm the main character, bitch!
But I will be in a couple of years. Sorry.
Aha! Mia, you're growing with a true lawyer's aura, my dear. That proud posture and self-confidence, absolutely smashing.
Yeah, you don't know where to get that kind of poison, huh?
Weren't you dating somebody?
You know, your Dougie. Yeah,
Whoops.
Doug Swallow.
Sorry, wrong button.
It's okay. Doug Swallow. You wouldn't know how to get that kind of poison. I don't believe you.
Stewie's got a point in the chat. It could be worse. Grossberg could have gonorrhea instead of hemorrhoids.
I suppose so.
Blech.
Even so, TMI, dude. What? In fact, you had an easy access to that kind of poison, didn't you? At your boyfriend's lab.
Boyfriend? You mean the victim, Doug Swallow?
That's right. Up until 8 months ago, Miss Hawthorne was dating Mr. Swallow. And if you recall, Mr. Swallow was a pharmacology student at Ivy University.
Pharmacology?
His laboratory contained his highly advanced chemistry equipment. In fact, without such equipment, the culprit could never have obtained such a rare and special poison. Well, Miss Hawthorne, it seems you have access to such a poison after all. And then it was a matter of slipping into the victim's coffee when he wasn't looking. The only person who could have done that was sitting at his very table, you!
Order! 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 Could it be?
That's nothing but a baseless...
Say something, Madam Faye?
What is it, Miss Hawthorne?
The amount of poison in the coffee was 2 teaspoons, correct? In order to carry that much liquid, you would need some kind of container.
Well, yes, that's true.
I was searched immediately after the incident took place.
Quite true. In fact, the entire courthouse was turned upside down.
But they didn't find a suspicious container anywhere, did they?
She's right. They even mentioned that in the report. Well, you could have easily gotten rid of something that small.
Excuse me, madam, but that's the court of law. If you're saying that I threw the poison container away, I think you need to show some kind of
Proof! Oh, we've got proof, lady. Proof? She's got me good with that.
Provide some evidence, or I'll have to disallow this line of questioning, Miss Faye. Unless we can come up with some evidence, we're going to lose the lead.
The police conducted a full body search of Dahlia and the entire courthouse. And yet the container holding the poison disappeared right after the crime occurred.
If you're going to accuse the young lady of committing the murder, then where is the container of the poison that was carried in? What happened to it?
Dahlia's present. The necklace bottle. You were forced to get rid of the container in a hurry, weren't you? And that's why you passed it on to someone that had nothing to do with the case. Someone that you knew wouldn't be searched.
Who is this person?
Mr. Phoenix Wright, of course.
So the defendant was the witness's accomplice?
Of course not. She gave the poison to him, disguised as a present.
What? But that's...
That's a charming little necklace. Is this a little bottle? It's really quite cute. So what about it? What does it mean, Miss Faye?
The day that the witness met and fell for Mr. Phoenix Wright was 8 months ago. August 27th, the very same day as the poisoning incident. Under the pretense of love, the witness gave my client a present. All for the purpose of hiding the one piece of evidence that would give her away.
What? Are you saying there's a deadly poison in here?
No, there's no longer any poison in that bottle. However, I'm certain that if the crime lab were to analyze it, they would find a trace amount.
Order! Order in the court!
Objection! On behalf of Dolly, I object! Mr. Wright, control yourself! I won't let you bully her like this!
Mr. Wright, I thought I told you to stay in your seat.
Mr. Wright, why?
Does the judge need to gavel a bitch?
Why are you going through so much trouble to protect her?
Why? Because I'm madly in love with her!
Right. Madly in love. I haven't heard anyone say that in a long time.
Mr. Wright, have you ever thought about this? Why exactly would a woman like Dahlia Hawthorne want to date you anyway?
Well, I guess she must be madly in love with me too.
Mr. Wright, please open your eyes. At this point in the trial, I think it should be obvious to everyone. The real reason that Dahlia Hawthorne is dating you is because of that necklace. Dahlia Hawthorne was not and is not madly in love with you. The only thing she's after is that bottle necklace you love to wear around your neck.
My necklace?
Back there in the waiting room, you said it yourself.
Yeah, but she's so shy. Every time I see her, she always says the same thing to me. Please give it back now.
What a strange girl, asking for a present back like that.
For Dahlia Hawthorne, that necklace is irrefutable evidence of her crime. That's why she absolutely had to get it back.
You're lying!
But you never give it back to her. And to make things worse for her, you insisted on showing it to everyone you met. That's why she...
I don't believe you. No! That's a lie!
Oh.
Here,
The defendant, he's getting away!
Mia, are you alright?
Yes, I think so.
That boy, he went completely insane.
Where's Mr. Wright?
It looks like the bailiff caught him, so he should be back soon enough.
Thank goodness. Oh no!
What is it?
The bottle necklace! Miss Hawthorne's present! It's gone!
What? That's terrible! Mr. Wright must have
Mr.
grabbed it when he... Oops, sorry.
Mr. Wright must have grabbed it when he slammed it into me.
Foolish boy. That's the only thing that could have saved him. What in blazes are we supposed to do now? Mr. Wright, this sort of behavior is unprecedented in the history of this court.
I'm sorry. I'm afraid your apology is not enough.
Mr. Wright! What did you do with the bottle necklace?
Forgive me. I'm sorry.
It's okay, just give back the necklace.
I ate it.
Oh, hold on, there's lag. You what?
You ate it?
It was too big to swallow, so I had to chew it into little bits first. But yeah.
Ugh.
What the?
What the fuck? What is he doing
Well,
now?
he's gonna feel that in the morning. Hold it! Your Honor, you've got to stop the trial! Mr. Wright, are you feeling okay? Does your stomach hurt?
That bottle...
That ball you swallowed may have some poison left in it!
It seems the defendant has proven the prosecution's case for us. Clearly that bottle did not contain a deadly poison.
How can you be so sure?
I think that's obvious. As you can see, the defendant is still very much alive. Though in reality, if he chewed up a glass bottle, that would cut his stomach up.
Well, and his throat also.
Yeah. As for the poison, more like a fledgling defense attorney's overactive imagination.
So it would seem.
Objection! No! There must be some kind of mistake!
Angry John in the chat. Homer, I can't believe I ate the whole thing.
The bomb must have not had any poison left in it. Either that or the poison must have lost its potency.
There. It's all right, rookie. Trusting your client is the most noble thing a defense attorney can do. And it's heartwarming to see that you place so much faith in Mr. Wright. But that's how it is for us in the prosecution side, too. For example, I would trust this witness, Miss Hawthorne, with my very life. Which is why I can't state that your assessment of her is completely wrong, which is why I can state, sorry, that your assessment of her is completely wrong.
That's enough. Unfortunately, Miss Fay, I cannot accept your explanation of the events.
But why?
This may be impossible for a beginner like you to understand, but in a court of law, evidence is everything.
Even after I prove so much, is she going to get away with everything?
Well, now that the suspicion surrounding Miss Hawthorne has been cleared up, I would like to proceed with the trial.
Hold it!
Mr. Wright!
I'm sorry, Miss Fay. It totally slipped my mind. I'm really, really sorry. I know you believed in me, and I feel like I really let you down.
Mr. Wright, what are you trying to say?
There's something I forgot to tell you.
What is it?
That day, the day I met Doug Swallow.
That girl. You shouldn't see her anymore.
Hey, it's none of your business!
I'm telling you for your sake. If you continue to see her, it's going to be bad news.
You're lying!
Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. Last night, someone stole some poison from our lab.
Poison?
The same thing happened 8 months ago. A drug sample was stolen. She came to the lab that time too. It could only have been her. That girl is a thief.
Stop it! Don't talk about her like that!
Is it true? Did he really say that?
That's ridiculous!
There's one more thing. After I pushed him that day, I got worried and came back to have a look. And she was there. Dahlia was right there. She was crouched down next to him.
What?
She told me not to ever tell anyone about it, but
I'm sorry, Dolly. Your Honor, the defendant is... Miss Fay, you tell them! Dolly didn't do it. She's innocent!
So Dahlia stole poison 8 months ago too, huh? If you put that together with Mr. Wright's testimony, then there's only one possible conclusion. The defense believes that Miss Dahlia Hawthorne stole some poison on the night before she killed Doug Swallow.
The night before?
Naturally, her motive for stealing it was to kill someone.
Miss Fay.
If you're so certain of your theory, then let me ask you this.
Mia, this is your last chance. Think carefully. There's something that she desperately wanted to get back. Therefore,
Exactly who was Miss Dahlia Hawthorne planning to kill?
Phoenix Wright.
Oh, he's 21, not 20.
Oh. There was one person that was standing squarely in Miss Dahlia Hawthorne's way. And that person was Mr. Phoenix Wright.
Me? That's preposterous! After all, it was Doug Swallow that was murdered.
Well, it's true that's how things worked out. But let's remember that Mr. Swallow died of electrocution, not poison. The person that Miss Hawthorne was planning to poison was, in fact, you, Phoenix Wright. There's no one else that it could be.
But how can that be? I thought Mr. Wright and Miss Hawthorne were in love.
Judge, have you been listening to anything that's been said in the last 20 minutes?
I know, right? Poor Mr. Wright. This must be killing him. Hang in there. I'll bring her to justice. I swear it. As I said before, the only thing Miss Hawthorne truly cared about was the one piece of evidence linking her to that incident 8 months ago. That's right. The bottle necklace. That's all she cared about.
But even so, why? Why would she go so far as to murder him?
8 months ago, just after the fall of that attorney in the basement cafeteria. Dahlia Hawthorne could think of only one thing. How to get rid of that bottle necklace as quickly as possible.
No, it can't be.
It was a pretty good move she made, too. The evidence was missing for a long time. But there was just one huge big problem. Although she'd gone to hide the evidence, Mr. Wright refused to return it to her. To him, the tiny little bottle was a cherished treasure. He even showed it to everyone he met.
You mean that's why she tried to kill Mr. Wright?
Correct, Your Honor. It was to retrieve that piece of evidence.
That can't be true.
Baby?
Oh, Feeny, what a joke you are.
There she is.
Honestly, how can any woman ever count on you for anything? I even told you time and time again to keep your trap shut about me and that necklace. You disgust me.
Miss Hawthorne?
It appears that we're nearing the end of this trial.
Fine. I can tell you plan on making me into a criminal no matter what I say.
You are a criminal, Miss Hawthorne.
We'll see about that. But first, where's your evidence? It seems your sniveling little crybaby of a client has eaten that ball as a snack.
Well,
Hey, old man, are you senile or something? Why don't you say something instead of sitting there with that dumb look on your face?
Miss Hawthorne, what's happened to you?
Are you really that shocked? Or do you prefer me? This way, Mr. Judge. With absolutely no proof, you treat a voluntary witness like she's a mass murderer. Well, I have nothing more to say. I'll be heading home now if you don't mind.
But we're not finished.
fine. Then ask this nasty old hag to finish up already. Hold it! I can't let her get away this time.
Stop, Mia! If you keep on pushing without any evidence, you could pay the ultimate price as a lawyer.
The ultimate price?
You'd be forced to take off your attorney's badge forever, I'm afraid.
No!
You better think it over carefully, Miss Fay. Or should I say, Miss Gray.
Well, Miss Fay, can you provide evidence that was establish her guilt once and for all?
If I mess up here, my career as a lawyer is over. But to be honest, at this point, I don't even have evidence that it's well-founded. We do, actually. Even so. I'd rather lose my attorney's badge and let her get away with murder. Your Honor, the defense would like to present proof.
Impossible! You can't possibly...
Stupid woman.
It is the opinion of the court that there has already been enough discussion. Therefore, I will allow only one piece of evidence to be presented.
Just one?
If you're unable to establish her guilt, then I'm afraid that a very harsh verdict will immediately be handed down on Mr. Wright.
I understand, Your Honor. Let's save here.
I can just imagine the headlines for tomorrow's newspaper. Up and a coming lawyer plummets to earth before she gets the chance to soar.
She was planning to poison Mr. Wright. If that's the case, then the poison was probably in there.
Well then, Miss Fay, please present your evidence. Show the court irrefutable proof that Miss Hawthorne was planning to poison Mr. Wright.
His cold medicine. Here it is, Your Honor. The evidence that will prove her guilt once and for all.
Cold Killer X, Phoenix Wright's beloved cold medicine.
Does our rookie defense attorney have a bit of a cold?
If I did, I still wouldn't take this cold medicine. After all, it's been poisoned.
What?
Remember what the defendant said in his testimony?
But I lost the bottle of it around lunchtime on the day of the accident. I always eat with Dolly, just the two of us.
She was the one who took this bottle of Cold Killer X. Then she poisoned it, knowing that Mr. Wright was going to take some.
Now you're really grasping at straws. After all, it was the victim, Doug Swallow, that was holding the medicine.
I would like the court to recall the crime that happened here 8 months ago. Where did Miss Hawthorne hide the evidence?
Huh? What are you talking about?
8 months ago, the poison was hidden in her bottle necklace. Which then she gave to someone else for safekeeping. Someone she had accidentally run to the reading room, my client, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Yes, that's right. She did the same thing this time as well. After shoving the victim, Mr. Phoenix Wright left the scene of the crime. That is when the murderer, Dahlia Hawthorne, appeared. With her, she was carrying the poisoned bottle of Cold Killer X. This, of course, was so she could carry out her plan to murder Mr. Wright.
I believe she did testify that she was going to meet with the defendant.
Yes, and she heard and saw everything that happened at the scene of the crime, including what the defendant and the victim were arguing about and the cut electrical cable. That's when she realized, I can't allow Doug Swallow to live. She was used to several electrical cable to silence him forever. Unfortunately for her, this is when the problem occurred. Mr. Wright, who she thought had left the scene, came back to check on the victim. And on top of that, because of the power outage, some students showed up as well. It's hardly any wonder why she was, as she put it, in a state of panic. Recall that she was carrying the bottle of poisoned cold medicine. She must have thought, what if they searched me like they did 8 months ago?
8 months ago?
Yes, she disposed of the evidence exactly the same way as she did back then. She had someone else hold it. In this case, Doug Swallow.
Oh, come on now, everyone. Surely you aren't fooled, are you?
The stupid woman. She's nothing but a filthy, stinking liar.
Right, Mr. Prosecutor?
Huh? Yes, that's exactly right. It's just pure desperation.
Objection! I wonder which one of us is the desperate one. So, Miss Hawthorne, this cold medicine, I wonder if you wouldn't mind taking some.
Huh?
Well, Mr. Wright ate that necklace of yours, right? Now it's your turn to prove your innocence. What do you say? If I'm just a filthy, stinking liar, then there's no need to worry. So come on, show us. I dare you take some of the medicine right now. Mia Fey! Mia Fey! Do you think you've won? Well, do you, Mia Fey? That's just fine. For the time being.
Victory is yours.
For the time being.
Well, I have a very long memory, you know. You and I will meet again. I'm certain of it. Well then, Mr. Judge. I'll see you later too, okay?
Huh? Yes.
I'm gonna spend a little quality time with the men in blue now. I wish you all the best.
Gotcha, bitch. Phew. It's finally all over.
I refuse to accept this. The defense hasn't shown a scrap of evidence to support their outrageous claim.
But even so, your witness seems to have accepted it.
I don't care! I'm Winston Payne, and I don't believe one word this rookie lawyer has said.
Well then, Mr. Payne, let me ask you this.
Yes?
Would you care to try some of this cold medicine?
What?
Just a little earlier, I could have sworn you said.
There. It's all right, rookie. For example, I would trust the witness, Miss Hawthorne, with my very life.
Oh, if she's so trustworthy, then I'm sure there couldn't possibly be any poison in here, right?
Well, you see,
Objection! And here comes the backpedal. Come on now, rookie killer. Show us this rookie how it's done. How much trust do you really have for this woman? Are you willing to bet your life?
And that's how he lost his hair.
Yep.
My beautiful hair!
2 words.
Mr. Payne, about Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll file papers for her immediate arrest.
Tragic, but not surprising. I knew there was something suspicious about her from the very beginning.
Don't lie, just admit you were wrong.
By the way, Miss Faye,
Yes, Your Honor?
was it just me, or did you and Miss Dahlia Hawthorne seem to know each other?
Your Honor, whether we did or not has no bearing on this case.
Very well. Mr. Payne,
This can't be happening. It's a nightmare. It's like losing my daughter.
it appears Mr. Payne has lost his spirit along with his hair. Does the defendant have anything else further to say?
It can't be true. My dear Dolly.
Very well then. I believe I'm ready to pass judgment and bring this trial to an end. The court finds the defendant Phoenix Wright. This court is adjourned.
Phoenix.
Mia, you are wonderful in there.
Thank you for everything, Mr. Grossberg.
During the verdict, I thought my hemorrhoids... Oh, for God's sake. During the verdict, I thought my hemorrhoids were going to explode like Mount Vesuvius.
Like Mount Vesuvius.
Vesuvius, sorry.
It's okay. Mr. Grossberg, do you, maybe need to stop talking about that? Thank you! Jesus Christ!
That's rather rude. Anyway, this case really made me think. What does it really mean to have a relationship of mutual trust with the client? Perhaps it's we veteran lawyers who have lost sight of this.
Oh, Mr. Wright. Congratulations.
Thanks. You know, I was thinking.
Go on.
The Dolly that I saw up there in the witness stand. I don't think that was really her.
What?
Yeah, the Dolly I know could never have said those kind of terrible things. Maybe she was like, I don't know, a fake or something?
Boy, this poor kid still hasn't got a clue. You need to forget about her, Mr. Wright, for your own sake.
Yeah, you're right. That's probably for the best.
Also, you need to relax a bit more. Try to grow up a little.
But out of all my friends, everyone says I'm the most grown up.
Eek.
What kind of person, eek, what kind of company does this guy keep?
Right now, I'm studying to become a lawyer myself.
That's what you keep saying. But I thought you were in an art department.
Well, yeah, I am. But there's a friend that I desperately want to help. And if I hurry, then I should still be able to save him in time.
I see.
Say, Miss Faye, a lawyer is someone who can help people when they're in trouble, right?
Mr. Wright, I'm still new at this myself. But I think that's exactly what a lawyer is.
Okay, I'm going to do it. I'll study my butt off. I'll become a lawyer for sure. I hope. I hope we see each other again someday. Oops.
Or maybe even in court.
And remember, wear a mask. It's been 5 years since I was acquitted of all charges. I became a lawyer like I planned and managed to save my friend. But Mia has passed on to a better place. For me, this trial brings up a lot of painful memories. But it also brings up some very precious ones. And memories that I thought would never rise to the surface again. Mia is gone now. But even so, I can hear her in my mind.
Phoenix, no matter what, always believe in your client. In a court of law, your greatest weapon is your belief.
5 long years. Something that happened made me think back to her words of wisdom. But that's a story for another day.
Hey,
Phew! Turnabout Memories, the end.
we did it!
And next week, we'll start the main cases.
Yep, episode 2, The Stolen Turnabout. And here we meet the new prosecutor.
Yep, Godot.
Yes!
Whew!
So, what do you guys think of Dahlia Hawthorne? Ain't she a cutie?
Oh, absolutely.
Even the rose have the most even the most beautiful rose can have the deadliest of thorns.
That it can. That it can. There's a reason she's usually the top villain in polls for Ace Attorney villains.
Yeah, though she is tied with, like, Dahlia is tied with Damon Gant from Rise from the Ashes and Christoph Gabin in Apollo Justice. So it's like, oh god, which of these three is worse?
Oh god. I don't even want to speculate.
It's like, it's a three-way tie between Dahlia Hawthorne, Damon Gant, or Christoph Gabin.
Hard to say.
I know, because all three are equally fucked up.
Yeah, they are, in their own horrible, twisted way.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
that's it for this week. Anything to say before we head off?
nope, I got nothing.
Alright, well, thanks for tuning in, folks, and we'll see you next week for the main trials. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.